I'm Kevin Prow, Chief Information Officer at TempWorks Software, a leading staffing software and service provider. There are many things to look for when choosing an ATS, and how your ATS handles data security is of the utmost importance. In this video, I'll talk about some of the questions you should have in the back of your mind when selecting an ATS. When considering the data security of your ATS or evaluating a new ATS, the top 3 questions that you need to ask are: number 1, how does the ATS protect your data when it rests on their systems? There's a whole bunch of compliance frameworks that could add value, but realistically, it's the actual practices that they put into place to protect your data that matters more than any compliance framework. Number 2, how does your ATS stop people from getting into the environment unauthorized? Having perimeter defenses and having different security measures in place in order to stop an intrusion is one of the first ways that you can protect the data. But number 3 might be more important, and that's: how does your ATS know when a data breach has occurred? If all of the focus is at that perimeter layer in preventing someone from getting into the system, there's no one looking inside to know if someone's already in the system. If your data is involved in a data breach, it could be either you or your ATS that ends up knowing about that first. In a lot of cases, the ATS is the one that has the security professionals and the IT professionals that are actively monitoring their environment to know if anything suspicious is going on. The first thing you need to do if you discover that your data has been involved in a data breach is evaluate whether or not you are equipped to handle that situation. In most cases, the appropriate response is to contact an incident response remediation team and get their guidance. Idealistically, you would already have that included in an incident response plan, so that you're not making emotional and impromptu decisions during the situation at hand, but rather that you're following a predetermined set of steps to make sure you're handling it the way that you've prepared for. So the steps in coming up with an incident response plan is determining who is going to take command of that incident. When you have too many cooks in the kitchen, you have no decisions getting made. Who is ultimately in charge with making those decisions as to how your business is going to respond? Do you have an incident response remediation company on retainer? Is there a cybersecurity professional that you call that has a phone number sitting on your desk so that you know they're going to be hopping into that situation and helping you out throughout that process? Are you going to keep your systems online, or are you going to turn them off? In a lot of cases, you can actually cause more damage by disconnecting a compromised system that has a dead man switch or is otherwise going to leak information if they cannot continue to have that command and control presence in your environment. Having those types of things identified and understanding how your company's response to it is going to be before that event takes place is going to allow you to process that incident so much more smoothly. Contrary to popular belief, passwords should actually not be changed on an arbitrary rotating basis. In a lot of systems, you're forced to change your password every 90 days, and it needs to contain 10 characters with 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, 2 numbers, 2 symbols, and cannot be part of any of your past 10 passwords. Those all sound good, but the complexity requirements that you're imposing on your users actually encourages them to have bad passwords. They use the same passwords over and over again with slight variations between them, changing the symbol, modifying the number to be a year, adding in the season. Those types of things are the things that cyber attackers are going to attack your system with. Encouraging your users to come up with one really good, strong, and unique password is way better than forcing your users to change passwords frequently. So as long as your users have good passwords, you only need to make them change it if there's a problem with their password, such as it being included in a data breach or it having been compromised in some other fashion. The overall takeaway is that the weakest link in your security posture is going to be the link that gets broken. In a lot of cases, that weakest link is going to be one of your users. So ensuring that your users have phishing awareness training and know how to create good passwords are going to be the things you can do right now to protect your data. When it comes to your ATS, you want them to address security more holistically than just firewalls and prevention. You want them to address the intrusions that could potentially happen and how quickly they would be able to identify and remediate something should it occur. At TempWorks, we spend a lot of time focusing on what's already inside of our network. Are there suspicious users logging in from unknown locations? We actively look at threats that could be in our network or traffic that's going across the network that might not add up. The more that your ATS does outside of just preventing someone from getting into your system, and the more that they focus on what could already be in the network, the better off your data security is going to be overall.